Hello, everyone, and welcome to Blow the Whistle Sports. I'm your host, Wayne Holloway. Thank you again for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and share. And like always, if you want to see something on the show or you have any suggestions, hit us in our DMs or drop them in the comments below on Facebook or YouTube. Holla this, we holla back. Man, we about a week out from the draft. NBA playoffs is nearing us. The wind down is here. All the teams are in position. It ain't nothing to do it but to do it now. But let's get into the hot topics and everything that's going on currently. But first, let me introduce my co-host, the man, Mr. Steven Rubain. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing amazing. Ready to get into all this. This is a good time of the year. The playoffs starting, NFL draft a couple weeks away.
That's right. That's right.
I'm excited for this time of year, so I want to just get right into it.
You got to excuse my voice. Man, I don't know. Woke up like that.
Yeah, hey. Sometimes we have our good days and our bad days.
Yes,
it's
sir.
All right. You made it in. You can speak. So as long as you can speak, we got an opinion. So we're going to let you know how we feel. Speaking of which, you want to get right into the news?
Yes.
After a little late start, this is a big week for basketball as both the NBA playing games for the playoffs start this week as well as the WNBA draft. So let's start first. Before we get to the NBA play, let's start with the WNBA draft. We haven't gone there first.
Who was the number one pick, Steve?
Is there any question? Unless you've been living under a rock or on a different planet, Caitlin Clark, who has been all over the news for the last year, as she's been setting records all throughout college basketball. She was the number one pick of the Indiana Fever.
I do not believe she turned down that $5 million.
She turned down the $5 million for $79,500. That is the rookie pay scale for the first round pick of the WNBA draft.
Is that a slap in the face, or what do you call that?
The WNBA has a problem because they've been robbing these women players for years, making a lot of money and paying them virtually nothing compared to what the men.
Because the WNBA still gets the endorsements, right?
Yeah, of course. It's backed by the NBA. So they got the NBA endorsements behind it. They got the TV contract behind it. And now because you got a player of Caitlin Clark's stature, all before her games of the WNBA season will be televised nationally televised. You can expect to have sold out arenas everywhere she plays, and they're paying these players nothing. So they're going to be making a ton off of these guys, and because of their contract, they're going to be getting a very, very small percentage.
So we can't say anymore that it's because women are not watching?
Oh, no. I mean, even for this WNBA
that's
draft,
not a part of it. That has to be somewhat a part of it.
No, it's just it's called the greed that's going on in our country as a whole. I mean, everybody trying to get as much out of people as they can for as little as they can. And so,
have you been to any WNBA games?
Honestly, no, I've never been to a WNBA game.
When I went to a game, it was so many seats that were not filled.
Right.
How can they possibly pay them equivalent to the NBA if they're not filling stadiums?
But I mean, that was during that time. It's a different time now. The league has changed. The caliber of talent in the league is much better. And now with these NIL deals and how the way things are going.
But that's for college.
Yeah, but these guys now from college are going to the NBA. Now they're putting enough people in the seats where they can pay more. Remember, the NBA was not always the juggernaut it used to be. I mean, there were days when the NBA would have 4,000, 3,000 people in an arena. So it's not like the NBA has always had 18,000 people every game. So it's they got to match. Bottom line is that you got to pay the people what they're worth. And obviously, Caitlin Clark is worth a lot more than $79,000 a year.
Well, she's a draw. It's just like boxing. Anybody that puts the butts in the seats, they're called a draw, and that's where the money goes to.
But what I'm saying is, they're not changing that though. The WNBA should automatically look at this and say, we got to pay this woman more money because she's worth a whole lot more than just that $79,000.
But would it be her worth that much? Where she got into the WNBA,
Right.
She's the hottest thing going right now. So should she be the highest paid player in the WNBA?
Of course. I mean, think about it. It's the same as when Michael Jordan entered the NBA, same as when LeBron, same as when Kobe, any of the all-time greats. You got to pay them their worth. You can't just sit there and sit there and say, okay, well, we got a straight rookie salary, so we're going to only pay them. Think about 79,000. School teachers oftentimes make more money than that. People working in construction make a lot more money than that. I mean, it's to be on a national TV and what they charge to go to those WNBA games.
Now,
who's making the profit?
Now I can see still having the endorsement deals and things of that nature, seeing the TV money still be there, but not the seat money.
What do you mean? You don't think she's not going to pack out the stadium?
Well, that's yet to be seen.
So you're going to see her now. Think that based on what you've seen for her in the college game, she's not going to be able to put in people in the seats.
I'm going to watch her. You know what? I think we should go to some WNBA games to check them out.
I have no problem with that. I would love to go see a game. But we'll make it happen.
All right.
But okay, but yeah. So just she went number one. The Chicago Sky got two big names, and they got Angel Reese and Camila Cardozo from the NCAA champion South Carolina Gamecocks. Two of them.
How did they pull that off?
They had two picks in the top 7. So they got Cardozo with number 3, and they got Angel Reese with number 7.
So, but how was it some great trade, or
yeah, it must have been a trade that somebody probably now is regretting because they could have got Angel Reese at number 7. So yeah, we'll see how that works out for the Chicago Sky. Remember, they still have Parker. They got Candace Parker still. I think she's gonna come back and play this year. So that could be a nice 1-2-3. So we'll see. So yes, that's the WNBA. Let's get now to the NBA because we're starting the NBA playoff games yesterday. So it's called the play-in games. And this number one, this was an amazing concept that the NBA came up with 4 years ago. The NBA was like, we got to do something to try to encourage teams to continue playing through the end of the season because oftentimes the seedings will already be set. So teams are just like taking their guys off.
And they lose their interest.
Losing interest. And
why get hurt now?
Right. Resting guys for the playoffs type of stuff. So they said, let's come with this playing game concept to keep teams still with that motivation to want to try to play hard those last few weeks. And
what is it?
What's that?
What is this concept?
The concept is that instead of having just the top 8 teams in the playoffs, only the top 6 automatically get into the playoffs. And then you have seeds 7, 8, 9, and 10 play each other in what's called a round robin where 7 plays 8. The winner of the 7-8 game
flip-flop.
No, they become the 7th seed. The loser of that game plays the winner of the 9-10 game, and then the 10th seed team, whoever loses that game, is out. And so the winner of that game becomes the 8th seed. So you have 4 teams basically playing for 2 spots, and that's in both conferences. And so this year, by miracle, the NBA had both the Lakers and the Warriors in the play-in games, and so the Lakers took care of their business. They ended up pulling the game out from the Pelicans 110-106, led by both LeBron and AD, who had pretty solid games to pull that game out. And the weird thing was in the fourth quarter, Zion Williamson went down with a non-contact hamstring injury. And so now they're saying that he's going to be out for the Friday game, which is a must-win for the Pelicans. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Can they do it?
Without Zion? It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
But the big question with Zion now was that he came into the season out of shape. And when you start getting those hamstring injuries like that, those are usually injuries of someone who's not in their best conditions. So that's going to be a big question mark on him if he can't play and they get knocked out of the playoffs. I don't know. It's going to really be a bad mark on him.
Shout out to James Johnson that's on Facebook.
All right, James.
Oh, no, he's on YouTube.
On YouTube.
He said don't be getting you sick. He said I sound terrible.
Yeah, I know. You see I'm like leaning to the right. I'm keeping like this. I'm hoping and praying I don't get sick.
I'm not sick.
But so James, what do you think about now Now here's the big controversy this week is that I mentioned about the Lakers Pelicans game. The 1 seed in the West right now is the Oklahoma City Thunder. A very talented team, but very young and inexperienced. The number 2 seed is the defending NBA champion Denver Nuggets, who are very experienced and dominant, especially dominant over the Lakers. So there was a
Why'd you have to put the especially dominant over the Lakers?
Well, because
is the Lakers the 3 seed?
Because
is it the 4 seed?
No, because the Lakers have lost the last 8 times to the Nuggets, including 4 straight times in the Western Conference Finals last year. So that being said, the controversy is, should the Lakers lose that game yesterday against the Pelicans, so that way, if nothing else, even if they win on Friday, they'll be the 8th seed and play Oklahoma City, which is a much better matchup for them. So that goes into several different realms because number one, you're talking fix, and that's a dirty word in professional sports now. Nobody wants to talk about the idea of that the Lakers would possibly fix a game to help them lose in order to better their seeding. And then the second thing about that is,
I don't like that.
Yeah, if they did lose that game on Friday, then they're going to be out of the playoffs altogether. So if you lose on Tuesday, then you lose on Friday, you're going to be out of the playoffs altogether. So would you take the risk of losing Tuesday with the idea that Friday you might play against a team like a Golden State and lose that game and then you're out of the playoffs? So Coach Darvin Ham was like, you guys are nuts. Nobody even think of doing something like that. So luckily, the Lakers did pull it out, so there's no controversy there on that. But that would have really been interesting if the Lakers would have lost that game. There would have been all kind of conspiracy theorists out there saying that they lost on purpose.
The conspiracy theorists are going to be there no matter what.
Yeah, true.
They don't have nothing else better to do but have the assumptions and theories.
Yeah.
And then even if their theory or assumption is proven wrong, then they fall back to something else. They can't let it go.
Hey, there's reasons why there's conspiracy theories. And so since I'll tie into that one, John Tay Porter, you know who he is?
Somebody else that has fallen to the wayside over some nonsense.
John Tay Porter is somebody who now the NBA has banned him permanently for life from the NBA. You ask why? Why would somebody be banned from an NBA? What's the one thing that you just cannot do? What's the one thing in the NBA you just cannot do?
Go out with a ref's wife?
You can beat you can do that. you can beat your girlfriend up. You can even probably stab somebody as long as you don't get convicted. But you can't gamble on NBA games. So Jonte Porter was not only was he caught gambling on NBA games.
How many years has he been in the league?
Just a couple. It don't matter.
So he just started.
It don't matter. He could be a rookie. If you gamble on the NBA, you're done because that's the one thing the NBA will not tolerate is anything that would cause the people to think that games could be fixed.
Now this is the kicker.
No.
He only made like $20,000.
It don't matter.
Off of betting.
It don't matter. You can make $20. You can't gamble on NBA games as an NBA player. And not only that, but telling bettors games they should bet on. And I think that was the big kick, was that he actually have him telling bettors, hey, you need to, I got this inside word that blah, blah, blah. I'm not playing. You need to bet on da-da-da. That is a huge no-no. And so
what gets me is, how do you get caught betting when you know you're not supposed to bet when you have hundreds of family members? Mm-hmm. Now, if I was in the league and you weren't in the league, I could just tell you to make a bet.
Yeah, but you remember though, gambling is an addiction, and so when you have an addiction, it doesn't correlate to rational thinking. It's just like alcohol or drugs or whatever. You don't think rationally when you have an addiction to something. Look at that guy for the Dodge. Look at the guy for the Dodgers. Yeah, the guy for the court.
Okay.
The guy for the Dodgers, the interpreter. He took millions of dollars from Shohei Ohtani. I mean, why would you do that? Other than your addiction is so, and and they're saying he was betting 150 times a day sometimes, putting bets in. 150 bets a day.
That is ridiculous.
That's insane. I mean, that's just somebody who's completely out of control.
You good?
No, with somebody else's money. It's just when you have an addiction like that, it's just horrible. So yeah, he's going to jail. He's going to spend some time in jail. He'll be in jail for a long time. So just but getting back to the NBA playoffs, I kind of digressed a little bit with the gambling thing. The Kings knocked off the Golden State Warriors, and not just knocked them off, but they knocked them off 118-94. So let me ask you a question:
Convincing.
Is the Golden State Warriors, as the team they are now, done? Is the Steph Curry era over?
Splash Brothers.
Is it over? Can you come back next year with that same team and sell to the fan base?
They've held out with this nostalgia for the last 2 years. It should have been changed 2 years ago.
Exactly, but I mean, it's been such a popular thing, and like I said, it still puts people in the seats.
Sometimes you get caught up on nostalgia and loving the player so much, just like I'm diehard Kobe.
Yeah,
but was that best for the Lakers the last 2-3 years of his career?
Oh, I say absolutely not. I thought it held him back for about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into holding us back, but
and hold you back.
It's just when you fall in love with a team, sometimes you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Yeah, well,
and Golden State should have changed this team 2 years ago.
So it looks like at this point they're going to have. I think Klay Thompson might have played his last game as a Warrior. Should Draymond Green, should this be his last game?
They're not.
Can you trust Draymond?
Did they re-signed him though already?
Can you bring him back legitimately and sell the fan base as horribly as he played down the stretch and when they needed him?
I can't see it. I can't see it at all. James Johnson said it's over for Golden State.
Yeah, I mean that's what I think. I think they need to just. I mean, the only person on that team who has to be kept, of course, is Curry. Everybody else could be shipped off if need be.
Honestly, it's time to revamp the team.
Yeah,
and Curry is no doubt a hot ticket.
Mm-hmm.
What better way to get back in there with revamping the complete team?
No, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Hey, what good does it do to hold on to a player and get in some maybes?
Well, you got
while he's in the highest state of his career. You can basically give a Curry up and get a whole nother team.
I just can't. I can't see the organization giving up their centerpiece.
It's called business.
I mean, it's business decision, no doubt. But the only thing I can think of, one or two things. He could go to Charlotte because that is where his daddy played, and has a legacy there. But they would not be a playoff team. They wouldn't be a good team.
Multiple teams he can go to.
He can go to the Lakers.
They can go and get draft picks and players for Steph Curry.
Yeah, I mean, no question. I mean, there's no question his value. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, I
want to point this out. New England Patriots.
Yes,
they were at a turning point for the New England. New England was relevant for how many years?
20 years.
Exactly. And they had the mastermind of coaches, Coach Belichick, on the team. Now, this mastermind, you can't tell me he didn't love Tom Brady also. But he knew when it came to a time where Tom Brady was getting up there, even though they did get another championship, can't argue with that.
Mm-hmm.
But he's seen a vision of getting rid of a Tom Brady and keeping this New England team going and keep the momentum built up and going.
I think we can be safe to say that was a bad vision. He should have rode Tom Brady off into the sunset. As long as Tom Brady could walk, he should have said, "You are invited to stay with us. This is your home."
In hindsight,
bad decision.
In hindsight, I don't think it was a bad decision because they still got the extra championship out of him. Still got another Super Bowl win, But what they could have gotten was Mounds more.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They
New
messed up.
England is not relevant and will not be relevant for a while.
So that's my point. I said that they should have kept Tom Brady. It was a horrible decision on the Patriots' part. Belichick's ego got the best of him. He should have been kowtowing to Brady any way possible to say, I'll let you call your own plays. I'll let you do whatever you need to do. I need you to stay in New England and retire.
We could say
Patriot.
that, but at the same time,
We can say it.
Belichick ran a tight ship, and he's the captain of the ship.
Okay.
It can't be two captains of the ship. Now, I understand what you're saying because of the level of playing, and he can still play now. But when you have so much success with someone, and when they get to the age where they can leave at any year,
Mm-hmm.
you have to deal the chips that you have. It was best for the team to deal him off and get pieces for him because at the time he can leave it every year. Oh, I think I might come. What team wants to go through that? I might stay.
Yeah,
I might want to go. I might stay. I want to go.
But his might stay keeps you relevant. Since he's been gone, have the Patriots been relevant?
No.
So you gotta take the prima donna in Brady because the prima donna in Brady is your only chance to get a championship. You didn't have no championships before Brady, and you haven't had no championships after Brady. So you got to
with the pieces that Belichick was going to get, they still would have been relevant even after a Tom Brady.
No, I don't buy that whatsoever. You play to win championships, and
the Patriots were relevant before Tom Brady.
How?
They were with Bledsoe. They were relevant.
Okay,
they were relevant.
They were relevant. Were they a championship?
But they weren't dormant like they are now.
Okay, they're dormant like they are now because they made the mistake and not riding Brady off into the sunset and putting the piece in place to nurture under Brady. That's where they messed up. They should have went on and got a quarterback to learn from Brady, build from him, and then like the Packers did with Jordan Love, let him sit for a couple years, and then when the time is right and you move on from Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love was ready. That's the way you
ready he is.
That's the way you build a quarterback. You don't just throw a quarterback out there as a rookie and just say, "Hey," I mean, we learned that from. You just don't throw a quarterback out there as a rookie and say, "Hey, just."
And I appreciate
here's the ball.
I appreciate you touching
sorry,
the Carolina ball.
I know I shouldn't touch the ball, but
that
was disrespectful. I apologize for that.
And we what we learned was, see, there's two edges to that sword.
Yeah,
Carolina, whoever is our spokesman when it comes to talking these deals up before the deal goes through, he's horrible. Hey, I don't know who in their right mind would think getting the number 1 draft pick in the world and getting rid of your number 1 running back and your number 1 wide receiver was a good idea.
Horrible idea. Horrible.
Well, who does that? Who would have thought that would make any sense in the first place?
A bad GM.
But there's a conversation that goes on before the GM is able to pull a trigger. It's not like the draft comes and the GM is like, "I'm not going to tell the coach. I'm not going to tell the owner. I'm just going to make this decision." There is a bargaining table. They weigh out things they see.
Right.
But what could they have weighed out for that to transpire?
Like I said, some teams are just built to win. Some teams are just built to lose. You hire who you hire. If you don't hire smart people in your front office, you're going to be a loser organization. I mean, I speak on that as a Commanders fan. We suffered for God knows how many years with a bad owner and bad management making bad decisions. So I understand.
This discussion derived from
talking about Belichick. And so speaking of Belichick, I don't know if you heard the news this week that apparently the owner, Robert Kraft, did a little what's the word to use? Blackball movement on Belichick to keep him from the Atlanta job. That the owner of the Falcons asked Kraft about Belichick, and that he kind of recommended, I don't think he should go with him because and probably whatever personal beef Kraft has with Belichick. And Kraft decided, blink, the owner of the Falcons decided to go with Raheem Morris instead. So that's an interesting kind. If you think about, has Belichick been blackballed by the league?
Not by the league, but by, I believe, by Kraft. And it goes more into this conversation that we're having about a great person that built a great team. Kraft didn't build the team. Belichick built that team.
Right.
And I can think one way, you can think one way, but Belichick way has worked. And what they did was they went against his way.
Right.
And now the team is it is what it is. And now he's mad because Belichick didn't want to stay in New England.
Well, it sounds like it.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, that's what. Well, I mean, here's the question: there's 32 NFL coaches now, and Bill Belichick, we know, wanted to have a head coaching job. Are you going to tell me there's 32 coaches better than Bill Belichick? No way. Never. So, I mean, that to me is the definition of blackball.
Well,
I mean, if you
blackball is when somebody doesn't want you. A lot of teams want Belichick, but Belichick.
not necessarily. That's not. Blackball means that for whatever reason, forces are keeping you from being in the league. That's the same thing that happened to Kaepernick. Same thing that happened to Ray Rice. They were blackballed by the league. It wasn't a case of nobody wanted them or that they weren't good enough to be in the league. It was a case of, for whatever reason, the owners decided we didn't want the baggage that came with those two.
I don't think that happened with Belichick. I think that
then what happened then? Why is he not? Why we had 7 different coaches change in the offseason, and now one of them was named Bill Belichick.
There's 32 teams.
Yeah.
And the class that Belichick is in, he had a teams that he wanted to go to. And those teams went elsewhere.
Okay. Well,
I don't think he's black, but I believe there are other teams that have reached out to him. He didn't want to go there.
So you think that he's made a choice not to go to those teams, and so it's a case of he could be coaching now, but he decided not to coach.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Absolutely.
All right. Well, time will tell. If we see him back on the field again, we'll find out. If that's the case, then maybe it's a change. But right now,
I would love to hear what he has to say about this.
Well, I think we will because he's going to be on the McAfee show draft night. So they're going to have a special. Pat McAfee's going to have his own draft show
day one
next week. Day one. Yep. And Bill Belichick will be his co-host for this draft.
And I want to tell everybody next Wednesday at 7. Tune in. The draft will be on. It'll be third day. Though, right?
No, next Wednesday, the day before the draft. So the draft starts Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We want to keep you guys from watching the draft. That's one thing we would never do.
Oh no.
So no, because we'll be watching the draft.
Most definitely.
We'll be watching,
even though we don't have a pick in the first round.
Well, yeah, like I said. Anyway, that's probably for the best. But we do have a pick. We have the number 2 pick.
You throw rocks.
I throw rocks. But before I do get to it, because we kind of digressed again into the NFL a little early. But
yeah, I even had to put it up because we was talking so much about the NFL.
I know, but we do have a retirement this week. And this is kind of a sneaky retirement because it's kind of one of those that you look back on and you're like, man, Blake Griffin had quite a pretty impressive career.
Right.
Blake Griffin, number 1 pick of the draft by the LA Clippers. I put him in the same category. You remember Deion Sanders in the 90s when they built the Georgia Dome?
Right.
And Deion Sanders says, "This is my house.
Right.
I'm the one who built the Georgia Dome."
Ooh.
Remember that back in the 90s?
Big words.
Well, this year the Clippers are getting a new arena, state-of-the-art, called the Intuit Dome.
Inglewood, California.
Inglewood, California. Yes, I can't wait to see when they open up the first event. I think Bruno Mars is doing the first concert in August. But the NFL is going to start, the NBA is going to start, 2 months later?
So they're not going to do concerts in the Forum no more?
Well, no, the Forum will always have concerts. That's going to be, I mean, just think about how that area is going to be. You're going to have the Forum still doing concerts.
And the stadium's going to be doing concerts?
And they're going to be doing concerts there as well. Wow. Plus, you're still going to have down there at SoFi Stadium, which will have the big concerts. And so there's going to be a whole lot of things happening in Inglewood.
Do you remember all those empty spaces in Inglewood?
I know. It used to be, I know. It used to be a lot of wide open space. Now, Inglewood is like the hub for them. And just think about it. 4 years to almost in a couple months from now, it's going to be the LA Olympics. So think about all those events that's going to be happening down there.
California is back on the
California is
map.
back on the map, and don't forget they got the Super Bowl the year before, and they got games for the World Cup in 26. So 26, 27, 28, LA is going to be having a lot of major sporting events. So yeah, a lot of things are happening down that way. But I'm getting back to Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin was the guy who changed the dynamics of the Clippers, because we all know, being LA people out here for many, many years, that the Clippers were like that team. If you had nothing else better to do, you can go there and get a ticket, and you can get in right away. Nobody's going to stop you. For a good bargain. Lakers always cost money, but the Clippers, I can get a ticket real cheap.
I'll put it like this: I've sat on the floor for Clipper games at least 4 or 5 times.
Oh yeah, easy. And you had as I said, and you had empty seats around you. You could sit on the floor, and you have an empty seat around you. That's how bad the Clippers were. Blake Griffin came in there. He was star powered. When they had him along with Chris Paul, that was Lob City, and the Clippers all of a sudden became a must see in LA. And that changed the whole dynamics of that organization to where they are today. So I'm gonna call it the Intuit Dome, the house that Blake Griffin built, because he was the one who changed the whole.
He didn't play one game in there.
But that's not the point. The point is that with Deion Sanders said that, remember, Deion Sanders had already left the Falcons.
Okay.
He was going to another team, but when he came back to play in the Georgia Dome, he said, "This is my house because I'm the one who made the Falcons relevant." That was the point I was trying to get at, is that Blake Griffin, like Deion Sanders, made the Clippers relevant.
Okay.
The Falcons were a no way organization before Deion Sanders got there. All of a sudden, Deion Sanders made them must see. So that's the same thing I'm trying to get at. And so we wish Blake Griffin the best. Hopefully he'll have a nice, I know he's been going into stand-up comedy. He's been doing a lot of
Blake Griffin?
Yeah, he's been he actually, for years before he retired.
Is he good?
He's pretty funny. He has an interesting humor about him. He's kind of like a staid personality, but he has good jokes. He's talented.
I gotta go.
So yeah, gotta go see him. Yeah, I saw him a couple times when I was doing the comedy thing. So he's that's gonna be his. I think his future will be in the comedy. So we're gonna wish him the best in that. And let's see what. I guess that's it. So
wait a minute. There's something that Draymond Green said. I wanted to ask some questions. I wanted to put the question to people out there. Draymond Green said that when he hits somebody, he gets thrown up under the jail. But when he gets hit, nobody sees it.
Okay. I'll answer this one. Draymond Green is one of those players who he's the Bill Laimbeer of this generation. You remember Bill Laimbeer, right?
Yes.
For the Pistons. Someone who always acted like a big crybaby and sat up there and played victim and said, "Oh, I don't understand why these guys keep hitting me. I didn't do anything wrong," even though we got all this evidence of tapes of Bill Laimbeer tackling Larry Bird, tackling this guy, doing this, cheap shots. But then when he gets hit back, then he wants to sit there and cry and say, "You didn't do anything to Kareem when Kareem hit me in the head. You don't pick on me, blah, blah, blah." You get hit in the head because you've been doing stuff your whole career. You have a reputation.
Okay.
If you got a reputation of being someone who hits people, then they're gonna treat you accordingly.
Now I want to ask this other question: is a foul a foul?
Not all fouls are the same, and we all know this. I mean, you've been around. If you are a top player, you're going to get the calls, except for LeBron. For that reason, LeBron never gets the call. I don't know, for an all-time great player, I don't know what the officials have against him. But if you looked at Kobe the wrong way, they blew a foul on you in the NBA.
Yeah, but
and Jordan, they just he had so many free throws because he would get the calls.
So should an on-purpose foul be considered a technical after so many times?
Well, if you're hitting some, it depends on what kind of foul you're doing. If it looks deliberate, if it's something you don't think put somebody in a chokehold deserves to get kicked out of the game.
Well, what I'm saying is, remember Hackashack?
Well, yeah.
So when he gets fouled 4 or 5 times by different players,
but it was understood the type of fouls they were doing on him. It was unfortunately understood that they knew they were doing it on purpose in order to put him at the free throw line. So the officials use their discretion. They're not going to throw somebody out of the game if somebody's doing something that is not delivered to hurt them, but delivered to just put him at the free throw line because he was a bad free throw shooter. That's a different. Draymond Green, what Draymond Green's doing had nothing to do with him being a bad foul shooter. It had to do with his own personal whatever issues or he wanted to
Yeah, but
bully.
my thing is a foul's a foul, and it should be done accordingly.
So you think Draymond Green doesn't deserve the things that's come to him? You think that he's someone who is immune from the things that every other player in the league?
If you're annoyed with somebody and they get fouled, it should still be a foul. This is what I'm saying.
Okay, all right. Well, we differ on that one. I think
So you
his
feel
reputation.
if somebody's annoying, they shouldn't get calls.
No, it's not a matter of getting calls. He gets all kind of calls. What his whine and cry about is that he wants to whine and cry and say that, oh, you guys are only picking on me and you're not picking on these other guys. But the other guys aren't doing the same thing. So it all depends on your reputation. I mean, we've seen guys throughout the league many times. You had Ben Wallace, who was known as being an enforcer. You had guys like Rick Mahorn, who was known as being an enforcer.
Shout out to Mahilia and Darnell being in the chat on YouTube. Lamont says Lamar Odom was the man as well, like Blake.
Yeah, no, Lamar Odom, he was part of that whole. He was there before Blake, but yeah, Lamar Odom was, of course, a star, but he wasn't that superstar that led that next generation. You know what I mean? Lamar Odom was that second tier player. Lamar Odom was the Scottie Pippen type for that era. He was that great player, like when Kobe was winning with what's his name, Gasol. Lamar Odom was that nice extra piece you had to have. You know, at championship teams got to have that guy who is that glue guy who does all the little things, and that was Lamar Odom. So Lamar Odom was never the man on any team, but he was always a great 2 or 3.
Okay.
So that's what I say about Lamar Odom. So, but he was definitely necessary. His time with the Clippers helped bridge. Because remember that whole Sterling thing and just the nasty taste in your mouth he had for the Clippers.
Right.
Lamar Odom was one of those players that helped turn that around. So I would definitely give Lamar Odom his props.
You have anything for NFL?
Well, the NFL, all we got to talk about for the NFL is just next week we know it looks like it's going to be quarterbacks 1, 2, 3, and probably 5. They pretty much have the top 5, 6 picks. They pretty much consensus people know who those picks are.
You don't think any trading up is going to go on?
Well, even if the trading's going to go on, it's going to still be these same guys. So it's just going to be a matter of somebody may trade up to get one of these guys, but it's going to be the same 5 or 6 guys. You know, Kittle Williams 1. It looks like either it's going to be Jalen Daniels or Drake May at 2. Whoever doesn't go 2 probably will go 3. Number 4 looks like it's pretty much locked in with Arizona going after Marvin Harrison Jr. Unless Minnesota decides they want to move up to get him or get up to get J.J. McCarthy, at which point then Marvin Harrison will go 5.
We have opened the phone lines for a few questions before we get up out of here. We got about a good 8 minutes to get 2 questions in.
All right, let's see if we can get them in.
Phone number is 909-844-4443. That is 1-909-844-4443. Holler at us.
While we wait for them to come in, I know you haven't gotten on to the UFL yet. Have you caught one game yet?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I have not. You haven't called reminded me anything.
My goodness.
You let me know after the game.
I'm too busy watching the games to remind you, but I'm going to have to call to remind you, get you into this, because it's a good product. I like the UFL. I like what is coming out of it. I like what I'm seeing.
The house that The Rock has built.
I think The Rock is very smart in how he's approached it. He hasn't tried to be too flashy or try to be over the top. He's letting the product speak for itself. I like the fact that we have the officials. You can hear in real time exactly how they're making their calls. Any kind of replay, you hear everything that goes into the decision. You speak to the coaches. When a guy scores a touchdown, you speak to them in real time. That's pretty entertaining. A lot of times these guys maybe shouldn't have a mic, but it's entertaining to hear what they have to say. And so it's a good product. And so far, it looks like in the USFL division, Birmingham is the cream of the crop so far. And in the XFL division, you got
what's the name of that team, Birmingham?
The Birmingham Stallions.
The Stallions.
Yeah. And in the XFL division, you got a 3-way powerhouse in DC Defenders, St. Louis Battlehawks, and the San Antonio Brahmas.
Okay.
So they look like they're
I like
the
these
elites.
names. I like these names.
New names. I mean, good talent. I mean, these are guys who most of these guys have spent some time in the NFL. I know you know one of the guys, Matt Corral, who the Panthers did wrong. So he's, trying to go to the XFL, rebuild his.
Ooh, Stevie sticking it. Sticking. Hey, I feel you.
Matt Corral. He was a prospect for the Panthers who didn't get. I think the
he came in at a horrible time.
At a horrible time. Wasn't given any
3 different coaches.
Yes.
All over the place with the picks. The state of Carolina, we don't know what's up and what's down. We waiting for some stability.
Right.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. So we're gonna see. But yeah, I'm into it. Like I said, I recommend if you're a true football fan, you're somebody who just loves enjoying just natural football. The NFL is its own animal, and we could go all day about the NFL and what the good, the bad, the ugly. But the UFL is a really strong product. And, if you really just love watching football.
Blood of Whistle Sports, who's calling?
That's Lamont, man.
What's going on, sir?
What's going on? This is Mr. Eagle.
What's going on?
The Eagle has landed.
Oh, fly, Eagles, fly.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Okay.
Hey, this is also the man that was supposed to call us.
Oh, man.
But we like lost connection. When the Eagles was flying high.
The Eagle flew away.
We could see him in the sky.
Was it the Eagle flew up into the distance?
Yeah, he was on us when the Eagles was doing it.
Yes.
Wasn't he supposed to call back?
I believe he did say he was going to call back, win or lose. I think that was the word.
And you know what happened? This is what we heard. It was crickets, man. It was crickets.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I was in my feelings.
Hey,
I could not. I was pissed off, man, because we started off so good, man, and we just imploded. Like it made no sense at all. Like how we ended that season. Like I really feel like it's a mixture of offensive coordinator. He was a big reason why we were calling this horrible plays, and then this personnel like the cornerback. I don't care about it. What was his name? He was just horrible. So I feel like that really put a bad taste in my mouth.
It's like y'all caught 2 flat tires and was waiting for AAA to come in, and they just never came in, and you guys on the side of the road waiting for tire changes.
And I think Jalen Hurts too was a lot more injured than he let on to be. He wasn't the same quarterback. He wasn't the same guy that was playing at the beginning of the year. So I think that also played a huge factor as well. But yeah.
Right.
Well, I think this year you guys will bounce back strong. I do like the moves.
You think so?
Getting Saquon Barkley?
100%.
Yeah, that's.
Ooh.
You now.
The linebacker from the Bucs.
Yeah. They made some.
Yeah, we made some moves.
I made some moves.
Unlike them girls, I'm in Dallas right now.
Right.
Unlike them Cowboys.
Oh, the Cowboys! I was thinking about the other day. I'm not sure. He might be trying to sell the team. I think Jerry Jones may be looking to like cut the money out because he's looking to make a sale sometime soon. I don't know. I mean,
they team can play in the XFL.
Yeah, I mean they cut all their salaries out. I mean that's a team that I don't know what he's doing. So yeah, I got the Eagles for sure being the top team NFC East next year unless something miracle happens.
You don't think the Cowboys gonna have something to say about that?
The Cowboys gonna have nothing to say about it.
No.
They got Dak Prescott.
Okay. All right. Well, they did go out and get a running back this week.
Ooh.
Did you hear who they got?
They passed up on Derrick Henry. That would have been the move right there.
And passed up on Ezekiel Elliott.
They didn't get Zeke back?
Nope.
So we're not gonna see this all season?
No. Zeke still needs to find somebody to feed him. Right now, nobody wants to feed him. They killed that man's career. He went from being in the penthouse to the outhouse quick. So the Cowboys went out and got Royce Freeman to solve their running back woes.
Wasn't that Denver?
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad, but
that's Denver.
Yeah, he was with Denver. Yeah, that's not bad, but that's not somebody who's
that's what you call a lackluster pick right there.
That's not somebody who's going to make a difference. Championship level.
Not like a Derrick.
Hey, you know what?
If they would have did that would have been.
Yeah, then it's a whole different world.
In fantasy football, I think y'all should get Royce.
Yeah, Well, depending on who they get in the draft, they might go out in the first round and get it.
Mike, the Cowboys is going number one pick for a running back. That's without a doubt they going for a running back.
We don't listen to me. Don't put any guarantees on the Cowboys.
They going to get a running back.
We thought the Cowboys were going to do a whole lot of free agency, and they did nothing. So I don't put anything
because they got Dak Prescott.
Okay. All right, now you're talking delusional. Just
the Cowboys is America's team.
Yeah.
They got Dak Prescott. They didn't make no moves because they don't need to make no moves.
Right.
They got the team to beat.
Well, what have I told you about that? The Cowboys have been selling that America's team thing for far too long, and the people who buy that are fools because
Steve,
you as a fan have to sit there and tell your team if you're going to call yourself America's team, you got to at least make the championship
Steve,
game.
Lamont.
Yeah.
The Cowboys got Dak Prescott.
Yeah, well.
Y'all better stop laughing and put some respect on his name.
Anyway. So as we were saying,
that's a punchline.
Yeah, it is a punchline. As we were saying, the Eagles should. I think next year the Eagles should be by far the dominant team. I actually think the Commanders might even overtake the Cowboys as number 2.
Woo!
And I'm putting the Cowboys third. Listen, I like what the Commanders are doing over what the Cowboys are doing. If you look at the Commanders,
might overtake the Cowboys.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Like I said, I wouldn't even put the Giants at third. The Cowboys, unless they do something miraculous, they might be the worst team in the NFC East next year.
The Cowboys got Dak Prescott.
Anyway, so I'm looking forward to seeing what y'all do with Saquon and your wide receivers. I mean, remember, you still got both AJ Smith and Devontae, so you got two weapons there. You got a good tight end, and you got Saquon.
So both of y'all saying that the Eagles are going to be number 1 in that division?
Absolutely. Like I said.
And the Commanders going to be number 2?
Yeah, unless the Commanders, it all depends on how well this rookie quarterback can step in. It might be a battle, but I think I got the Eagles number 1. If Saquon stays healthy.
Eagles number 1.
Yeah.
Commanders number 2.
Yeah.
And
Cowboys and Giants fighting it out for whatever, 7-10, 6-11.
Man, if y'all don't understand, the Cowboys got Dak Prescott.
Okay. Anyway, so that's where we are. What are your thoughts otherwise about the Eagles, about the draft itself?
He's silent because the Cowboys got Dak Prescott.
Anyway.
Hey, Lamont. I think Lamont gone. Oh, no.
Yeah. It's breaking up. I can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Where you calling from, Lamont?
He's in Cowboy country. He said he's in Texas.
Oh,
he's in that horrible state.
I can't I can't hear you guys. I don't know if the connection is tripping.
Well, hey, thank you for calling in. We're gonna need you to get better than Metro PCS.
I'm in Dallas.
He tried to badmouth
y'all from the like the stream, but I can't hear you on the phone.
He's trying to badmouth your service. Don't let him do that to you.
He got that hello.
I'm just saying I'm blaming your state. You're in a horrible state to be in.
I thank you for calling in, Lamont.
And I got all my bars, but I'm gonna ask this question though before I go.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna ask this question. My question. I can't hear y'all, but if y'all can hear me.
Hey, Lamont, we need you to call back. Yeah, give us your question or put your question on the chat in YouTube.
So my question is, do y'all feel like it is like the rules with the NFL and the tackling. Do y'all think that is necessary? Okay.
Good. That's a good question. We talked about the how the NFL has been going about changing
I
these
can hear y'all
rules.
now.
You hear us now? The NFL is going around and changing these rules to try to protect player safety. That's been their big theme: player safety, player safety, player safety. I don't. I mean, do we really feel like players have been safer? That there's been less injuries. It seems like every year there's like major injury after major injury. So I don't know. I don't know if it's really made a difference.
Well, people need to understand we play. This is a sport that a person with players are not meant to run this fast.
Right.
The number one injury in the NFL is a player running with no contact and getting injured. And the injury is where the kneecap slides up under your thigh. That's the same one that wide receiver from the Giants they used to do the cha-cha, what was his name? Victor Cruz.
Victor Cruz, yeah.
And a lot of players suffer. That's from non-contact. How are you going to protect a person that's running so fast that his body parts can't keep up right?
Yeah.
How can you protect the people as well as you can. You get paid the big money to play a contact sport. And when you're playing a contact sport, every player needs to know, do not play dirty. Play respectable. We are men, and you'll be on the other side of this. Play respectable. And another thing, these helmets make people missiles. I've been a advocate of not taking the helmet away, but dumbing it down to where a person doesn't run a run full speed into somebody.
Yeah.
And that's how you stop the injuries. Nobody's going to try to injure themselves.
Yeah, go back to leather helmets.
Right.
Leather helmets, or just a helmet to where it's a skill game. That's what we want. We want to see a skill game.
Yeah.
We don't want to see people get
their whole career destroyed.
Exactly.
No, 100%. I agree with that, but I do feel like that it's gone a little bit too far because I don't want to see flag football because I feel like that's where it's going. It's heading towards like, okay, because the new rule that they just implemented is like you can't form tackle now. You can't like hit somebody below the like. How can you stop yourself from like from hitting somebody below the waist or
Right.
It's just kind of like that's what we were all taught playing football.
You're going to
Like, how can you
see a
stop
bunch of flags this season off of this because you're taught that way because when a strong running back is coming out the backfield, there's only one way to stop this man. It's going for his legs.
That's it.
So now they take it's gonna get honed. They can't leave it like that because how is the safety gonna take somebody down?
Right.
You want him to aim at his chest? Come on now.
I'm curious to see how this new one gonna turn out because like it just seems like they're gonna have to call a penalty on every play because how can you not hit a man below his waist when he's playing
They're
football?
gonna have to fix it because I think the 15 yards is gonna be added because you if you let him go, he's gonna go 30, 40 yards. So all right, take the 15, or you're gonna see a lot of clotheslines this season.
Right, shoulder tackle.
Yeah, because people are gonna be trying to grab from the
Bobby
shoulder, and they
Boucher.
go and it's gonna look like a clothesline.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody be wrapping up them. They're gonna be doing Bobby Boucher shots, the water boy, just running and trying to hit.
Or people they're gonna get people hurt trying to aim for the waist.
Right. Yeah. We'll see how it plays out.
That's something we got to see. But thank you for calling in, man.
Oh, definitely.
Always good hearing from you. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And we want to hear you call, whether they're doing good or bad, sir. We want to hear your voice.
Most definitely.
Yeah,
don't all season, man.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Right. You be safe out there in Texas.
Yeah, be safe. Don't wear too much Eagle gear. All right.
Oh yeah.
Hold up. I saw somebody was calling us, but I didn't want to
interrupt them during the call, but we can get him next week. We'll make sure it's gonna be the special draft show next week.
Oh, okay.
But we're gonna have everything draft. And
I was trying to get him, but I guess he Darnell, we saw your name pop up. Yeah. Please give us a call back.
Yeah, we want to hear what the Niners are going to do now. And we
Brother Whistle Sports, Darnell.
This is Darnell.
Yes, sir. We was about to get up out of here. We saw you calling in. We wanted to make sure that you got your question in before we got off the air.
What's that? I'm glad. What's that?
I was just saying. I was just saying hi, but on YouTube it's still saying y'all live.
What's that? We do need you though. We had a because Pack and I, sometimes we have better debates off the screen than we do on the screen, and we have one that was so crazy. We have one that was so crazy that I gotta get your word on this.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I know you don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm gonna tell you anyway.
Go ahead.
All right. So I don't know if you heard this week, but they interviewed Tom Brady on one of the talk shows, and Tom Brady was kind of hinting at. They asked him, "Is there any scenario where you would come back and play?" And he said, "Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, there are scenarios. If a quarterback gets hurt during the season, and I got a chance to go in there, and play to help them win a championship, I may decide to come back and play." So the debate Pack and I were talking about is, where do you think should be the best place that Tom Brady should go in case a quarterback got hurt and have the best chance to win a championship?
That's a good question.
Now here's the craziness I got to deal with. It came down to, we were talking about the 49ers or the Raiders. Packett said that if Tom Brady had a better chance of winning a championship playing for the Raiders than he did playing for the 49ers. Please talk to him.
No.
Exactly. I mean, please talk to him. I mean, and he was adamant about it. But ask him.
I got this number where he can get admitted at the hospital because he having issues.
But listen, ask him the reason why he thinks the Raiders would be a better fit for Tom Brady than the 49ers. Ask him why.
Why you think the Raiders are a better fit?
Better wide receiver core.
Come on.
I
mean,
is that it?
Yeah, that's his reasoning.
No.
He said he said especially Adams. He said, yeah, Brady with Adams, that's going to be a huge.
Ooh, that would be something out of the sports books, boy.
I said, wait a second.
He'd be better fit for the 49ers.
Absolutely. I mean,
what Ayuk?
He'd be guaranteed to go to the Super Bowl than going with the Raiders.
With the way your coach works, if y'all got Tom Brady, you know what you would do? You would run the ball.
Yeah, I would too.
But you don't understand. Tom Brady will go against the coach as well.
Right, and do what he doesn't do.
His own thing.
Exactly.
No matter what that coach will say, that's Tom Brady. Tom Brady gonna do what he want to do.
Tom Brady's a company man, sir.
Tom Brady know how to take over a team.
Although Tom Brady 1 year went to Tampa and took them all the way to Super Bowl championship in 1 year, first year.
Yep.
You know who else did that?
Who else?
Matthew Stafford. Bang bang.
Was it 1 year? I think they take Stafford 2 years.
First year.
Okay. Anyway,
Super Bowl or bust, and guess what they did? Super Bowl.
The Raiders do better going to get Cam Newton.
Yeah, well, Cam Newton's too busy trying to style and profile and fighting against assistant coaches in youth football.
Cam doesn't want to play football
anymore. It looks like he's wearing that extra large golf hat.
Yeah, that's all he cared about. He's not trying to do nothing but football.
But Darnell's good to hear your voice, sir.
Yeah. Are you gonna call next week for the draft? Our special draft show next week? We're gonna talk about.
Yes, I'm calling.
Oh, good, because we want to hear who you guys should get in the first round. I think you guys will have a 29th, 30th pick in the first round. You guys have a pretty late pick.
We got the
31st pick.
Yeah, they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So who you guys can get at 31, and who would you want to get? This question. That's gonna be a big question.
They picked one pick before us.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see who should the Niners get.
A lot of people think that we're gonna move up.
And let me ask you this other question before you go. I do have
move up to get who?
They think we're gonna move up because everybody keeps saying that Pittsburgh is supposed to get Ayuk.
Yeah, that's the question I was going to ask you about. Do you think Ayuk should go to Pittsburgh?
No.
You think he needs to stay?
You don't want Ayuk to leave, but
Well, I mean,
that's a better fit for Ayuk.
Yeah, it seemed like he's quit his Facebook accounts. He's scrubbed everything Niners off all his accounts. That's not a good sign.
That's what Debo did. Everybody did all that stupid stuff.
Yeah,
and then next thing you know, they got a big deal. They got their money.
Mark my word.
All right.
Mark my word. Huge season if Ayuk goes to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Huge season if Ayuk goes to Pittsburgh.
If we go to Pittsburgh, we're going to get 2 picks. They're already saying that we're going to either get a second and a fourth, but I think they're going to give him a first and a fourth. That's what I think they're going to do.
Ooh,
the 49ers are the biggest shysters in the NFL with getting picks, boy.
Yeah, I don't know about that. They get
they pick meisters. That's what they are.
Yeah, if they get a first and a fourth for Ayuk, I'm gonna say they're wizards. That would be amazing if they can get a first and a fourth for Ayuk.
They got Christian McCaffrey for some magic beans, and some cornflakes.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy, but if they can get a
free trip on the Magic Carpet.
Right, if they can get a first and a fourth for Ayuk, that GM should run for president. He needs to run for a higher office because
because they were talking about they're gonna move. They're gonna try to move up in the first.
Yeah.
To the 20th pick and take their 20th pick, and then they're gonna give up a fourth as well.
Wow. Well, I'm interested to see.
But I don't know if the fourth is going to be for this year or next year. It's supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah.
So that might be a draft day pick. They might do that on draft day.
If you guys don't want a first and you take a second, it's worth it for IU.
Yeah.
For where they're at, and then they got Russell Wilson.
Well, assuming they're going to get a wide receiver, only way you do that move is if you already know you want to get a wide receiver.
Who's the other quarterback they picked up? They got another big hitter quarterback over there. Justin Fields.
Yeah. Steelers. Yeah, Steelers got Fields.
Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin.
He was willing and dealing.
He's about winning. That man's about winning.
That's another coach right there. But hey, thank you for calling in, D. We want you to make sure to call back for our special pick show for next week for the draft.
Yes.
We're getting ready for the draft next week.
We're gonna give you the whole first round.
I'm gonna have to sport my new draft fitted that just came.
Oh, yeah.
The fresh new draft Carolina fitted in the house. We're gonna have to get you a new hat too, Steve.
You don't like my command? This is a hat you?
Yeah, I mean, I got that for you for Christmas, but you need the new draft fitted for your team.
Yeah, well, I'm just starting to get back with the Commanders again. I had that love.
It was a love-hate relationship
for so long, but now I finally, I see the team is not panicking and not doing anything crazy.
It's like y'all a real team now.
Was that?
The Washington Commanders haven't changed their name yet?
They're talking about this year. They say after this year they want to talk about. Oh, that's another thing. We talk about they're going to have alternate starting next year. They're going to have a third alternate helmet, so teams can go out and have another alternate helmet.
Well, they've been wanting to bring that special helmet in, like that helmet 2.0 or 5.0.
Right.
It's like a special retro helmet that they always show, but nobody ever wears it.
Right.
They've been trying to bring it in for the longest, but now it's here.
So I'm really interested in that. But yeah, we got to change that name. The name got to go. They said at the end of the season they're gonna have the fans decide the new name. So
they'll be back.
So yeah, so I'm excited because, like I said, it looks like we're gonna get either one or two quarterbacks, and either one is better than what we had. So we should be heading in the right direction. So have you heard earlier? Okay. I got us over the Cowboys next year. I got Eagles, Commanders, Cowboys, Giants. That's my early predictions for next year. The Cowboys are going to take a step back.
It sounds like Pat rooting for Dak.
Yeah. What's going on there? He's become a Dak lover all of a sudden.
I'm just letting y'all know Dak Prescott plays for the Dallas Cowboys.
What's that mean?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Y'all better put some respect on his name.
Yeah, all he got is CeeDee Lamb.
I respect him.
Yeah.
Hey, call back next week, D, for that show. Thank you for tuning in, man.
Thank you so much. Go Niners. All right. We'll talk later. Go Niners.
All right.
I can't wait to see Brock Purdy back in them pads.
Yeah. But But if they can get Tom Brady, hey, Brock Purdy can rest for a year or two. Hey, sit on the bench, learn from the all-time great.
Did you want to see some of these live scores right going on?
Well, what's the score? We didn't really get into the Hawks game. The Hawks are playing the Bulls in the playing game. What's the score?
The Bulls is winning 93-85. It's live.
Okay, so Bulls got an 8-point lead.
Third quarter.
All right, so the winner of that game goes on to play against the Philadelphia Sixers. The loser is done for the playoffs. So we'll see who pulls that one out.
And see if they can come back.
But yeah, before we go, remember, guys, Friday they're gonna have the 2 championship games. Like we said, it's gonna be the Lakers versus the Sacramento Kings. That should be a good one. And then it's gonna be the winner of the Bulls-Hawks game going up against the 76ers in Philly. So 2 good matchups on Friday, and then playoffs begin Saturday. So excited to see what's going to happen. So next week is going to be all about starting the playoffs and the NFL draft.
Tune in, Blow the Whistle Sports, every Wednesday at 7. Please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace out.